What? What do you want? What?
Stop talking like that. Oh, it's the Riot. It's our podcast.
What? You guys want entertainment? You want us talking? Fine, here it is.
I was out the last 2 days, so my apologies for no podcast. It's my fault. You can blame me.
It's on you.
It's all me.
You did this.
So today, I'm back, and here's a new podcast.
Mm-hmm. So, hey, when I was in here by myself...
the last 2 days?
It's really hard to stay awake when you're
it?
in. It was for me. I don't know if it is for you.
I love it because I get all my extra work done and I get finally caught up on stuff. But
when I hit, it was really funny. The first 2 hours were fine. But then I hit this point where I was stretching. I was walking around, singing loudly to the music. I was so sleepy.
I mean, during when one of us isn't in, it's usually worst of Riot, so you guys don't get a podcast that day. But you have to stay awake. So it's not like you can fall asleep during that time.
Not easy, Nikki.
Even though you wanted to.
Yeah, I wanted to. Big time.
So we're back with a podcast today.
So today in the podcast, we talk about Nikki being back, which we did, but we're going to do again. What happens if you swallow an AirPod? IKEA mini stores. Avengers makes a couple of appearances, mostly about spoilers. Iranian
We don't
hawks.
give you spoilers, but about people and spoilers.
It's a meta discussion regarding spoilers.
That's important because we don't want you to tune out thinking we'll ruin something for you.
Superintendent Pooper is back. Burger King real meals. Willow. J.C. Penney.
All the best.
Weird stuff, guys.
All the best.
Weird stuff. So you guys enjoy the podcast. I'm going to go get some more coffee, I think, and...
fourth or fifth cup, even though now we have these tiny cups in the very, very tiny coffee cups. So you have 4 or 5 of them, but really, I don't even think you're at a cup.
I feel like I'm drinking. It's 5 trips, and I'm up to 1 trip previously.
Maybe.
But at least I'm staying awake.
It's like the dental cup when you're allowed to spit. And when, if you spit or anything, it's like the little tiny cup they give you.
Wait, did the dentist donate a bunch of cups? Is that where these came from?
We're just cutting back, and this is the way I didn't think we'd cut back.
Yeah.
Which is why it's important to support if you've never supported.
RadioU.com, click on donate.
Because it really does affect things when we don't raise all the money we need.
Things change.
And the cups are the first thing.
They were the first thing to go. Oh, there's also no lights in the boys' bathroom anymore.
Well, that's better anyways for the bugs.
It's fine.
It's perfectly better. Enjoy the podcast today. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Bye.
Cleveland celebrates failure with a parade. We celebrate failure with the worst of the riots.
Nikki is back.
Hello, happy Thursday.
I told you guys she was okay.
You worry so much.
People do.
I don't understand why.
And I don't even mean this in a bad way. I'm not looking for whatever. I feel like I could be gone and it wouldn't really matter.
I know,
but when you're gone, it's oh my gosh.
You jump to the assumption that I've died or something
terrible has
all the way
happened.
on that side when it makes me feel bad if I ever take a day off. I always feel worried.
They need you. That's
I know.
all I can tell you is that people need you. And you can't have any time off. I'm sorry.
And I'm here, so it's okay. We can all just be okay.
Mm-hmm. So
hopefully the last couple of days were good.
Yeah, I mean, they've been good. I've come to what I feel is a very disturbing realization. I went to a gas station of choice today.
Yeah.
I really like they sell these things they call stuffers, which is just embrace your fatness. You know what I mean?
Is it a stuffed hot dog or something?
No,
or?
it's a stuffed. It's
Hot
like
Pocket?
It's basically it's like a biscuit, and they shove stuff in it. It bakes that way. We all know it just comes and they microwave it, but it's got sausage, egg, and cheese in it, and it is it has to be the worst for you. I don't want to know anything about nutritional information because I'm pretty sure it's just a big thing full of fat.
But that means it tastes delicious.
It's amazing.
Is it?
Yeah. And so I stopped. I haven't had breakfast this week.
Did you stop for a stuffer?
Stopped for a stuffer. I did. You know what? Here's the thing. This is the 3rd time now in however many weeks that when you stop in there, they're not making them before 6 a.m. anymore.
Well, I mean, you need to go more often. Then you need to create a demand.
I mean, I was there.
Well,
I talked to the guy.
Yeah, but now like 3 maybe is not enough of a demand every day.
Where's my stuffer?
That way they're like, oh, we shouldn't make him before 6. And they're like, wrong. Do you know that man who comes in every day?
He wants them.
And then maybe like I can try to schedule to get up early, go over there and act like I'm a
How
different.
come you guys don't have any stuffers?
Yeah, and then they'll be like, oh my gosh, there's such a demand.
Yeah, so they're gone. And so and the thing is, I've tried different locations. So I think this might be a company-wide, not until 6 a.m. initiative.
Oh, they have them, though. They're just not making them.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
So why don't you just ask if you can get a frozen
That's
one
just
and
one more
microwave it when you get to work?
It's one more thing that you just cannot get before you go to the riot. The only thing you can get before you come to the riot is a workout at McDonald's. That's it. I got a soda because I was like, what the heck? I'm here. Ain't got no stuffer.
And then that's why they got you. There's no hot dogs. There's no nothing else. There's no other breakfast sandwiches.
There's like donuts and breakfast cake, like not cakes, but like, bars. And what I've discovered is basically all protein bars. Give me 3 hours and I'm so sick after I eat them. So that's out. And so
but the stuffers doesn't bother your body.
I'm fine.
You're like, what's wrong with you, body? Why can't you accept the good things?
Get on board.
Get on board with the protein stuff. They're like, no, give us a stuffer.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But you know what?
I'm sorry to hear that.
I know, Nikki. I'm glad you're back because I needed to tell somebody.
And I'm here to hear it.
And you're here. And and the thing is, like, you guys could have listened to me, but Nikki's going to give me a hug after.
It's a shame what they're doing to you, and we're not going to stand for it.
That's right. We're going to sit for it right here.
Right here and decide what else we could do.
I whine about it some more, probably.
It'll make you feel better.
You know what? Let's go to their website and submit feedback.
Post on their Facebook page.
I'm sure that will make a positive change.
Let's all do it.
You'd think that after all these years of hearing me make fun of the riot, people would have stopped listening by now. Maybe it's one of those can't stop staring at a train wreck situations. It's the riot on RadioU.
Nikki, how are your AirPods working out?
They are working out great. I have the new ones.
Okay. Oh, is that bragging? You just want to make sure?
It's a hashtag humble AirPod brag.
It was, because you're like, just want to make sure people don't think I have those stupid old ones.
I want you guys to know,
I have the new ones better than yours.
When we're talking about them, I am basing it off of the newer ones that I have.
All right. Well, I saw something about the AirPods today, and it reminded me of something that happened when I was a kid. I had a friend of mine who, we were like little, like tiny, and he swallowed a penny.
Ooh, isn't that very dangerous?
Well, then I remember them saying that the penny would pass.
Oh, I thought that
it would pass, and I was like, what does that mean? That the penny passes.
What do you think it means?
Well, I never found out.
Is this the person who swallowed the AirPod?
And they say it passed.
Did it?
His AirPod passed. Here's the part that bothers me the most about it. Okay. His AirPod passed and was then retrieved. So
No, it's gone. It is gone.
No, Nikki,
You just flushed it on down.
I
think I saw it on a Reddit forum of it's not my title, but like stupid humans. And I remember
they said it, not us.
That's just the forum. That's just where it was at. And I was like, why is this guy? It was just some cafeteria from some high school, and he's just like, and he swallows it.
And
dude, I have a hard time sometimes with like a vitamin. How someone eating and swallowing an AirPod?
You just put it in some peanut butter. That's how I swallow my AirPods.
We're not dogs. He just uses a drink. He just drinks it down.
You put it in a brownie. So he retrieved it, and it still works.
It wasn't his AirPod. The one video that I saw.
Oh, really?
The one video that I saw, it was someone else's AirPod. He just took it out of his ear and then swallowed it.
That's not. This is one that I'm looking at. It's from Taiwan. He fell asleep. He swallowed it in his sleep.
This is different than what I've seen.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Does this mean now it's a thing? Everybody's swallowing your AirPods?
No. It gets crazier. If this is true.
He swallowed it when he was sleeping?
Okay.
That makes me worried.
Yeah, and guess what? You're going to love this even more.
What?
So he couldn't find it?
Yeah.
So he hit the button for the beeping?
No.
And then he realized
it
was coming from inside him.
His body. That's not it. It's not true.
According to this article.
And articles don't lie?
The internet never lies. And you know what? I don't even like the insinuation.
It's lying. Well, something to worry about. I every so often will fall asleep with my AirPods, and then I can't find it in the bed.
He said that he wasn't. He said he didn't feel any pain, but he was still concerned, so he went to the hospital. And, I mean, I realize things can be photoshopped, but I have here a photo of supposedly...
His AirPod in him?
His AirPod that's here on the, what do you call it?
X-ray?
X-ray. And then when they gave him a laxative, he retrieved it.
I know they're expensive, but it's not enough to make it okay.
They said that as far as getting it through a system as fast as possible, it did contain a battery.
Sure.
Which, if the battery had ruptured in his intestines, that would have been very dangerous.
Well, I'm glad he's okay, but please let's not make this a thing so that when Apple releases them again, they have to have like a tether on them or something. Let's not do that.
Nikki,
or a safety feature because we can't handle not swallowing our AirPods.
Man,
like we're babies.
I would pay so much money to be in your room. For the moment where you realized you'd swallowed an AirPod.
My AirPod. Eric! Oh, gosh.
Eric, can you hear it?
We're going to the hospital right now. But don't tell them what happened to me. You act like you did it. I'm too embarrassed.
I think it's in me.
Once again, there just wasn't enough material for Best of the Riot. Actually, there wasn't any Best of the Riot at all. None. Zero. Look, it's all bad. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not bad. It's the worst. RadioU.
So, the problem that I am now beginning to run into with Avengers spoilers is this.
You still haven't seen it yet?
I still have not seen it. I was going to go today, and then I got to talking to Nick. You know, our news guy?
Yeah.
Nick and I are going tomorrow.
You sure?
Yes.
Are you guys positive?
I've already decided that no matter how tired I am, I'll just brew however many pots of coffee that I need, and I am staying awake.
Want him to hold you accountable then, because you were supposed to see it last Friday.
I am aware.
And you slept through it, so...
On purpose?
On purpose, you did.
Yeah, I did.
But...
So tomorrow, no. Decisions have been made. It's done. Tickets are purchased.
You had tickets purchased last time.
I know.
That means nothing.
It means something.
We're just worried.
It means something.
So tomorrow you'll be seeing it.
Yes, tomorrow I will see it. Here's what I love is everybody is out there. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. And like we're terrified that there's a person in our life that's going to spoil it. They're not the ones that are spoiling it. It's the headlines of websites that are like, I've seen things already about it that I'm not surprised by. I was like, yeah, no, I can totally see that. But
why do they put it in the titles?
The way they've put it in the titles, I know enough to look at their like sneaky way to say it, their clickbaity title, and I'm like, oh, well, that obviously happens. You're like, oh, thanks. So weren't you guys the same ones that ran the article last week about not spoiling it?
Between that and Game of Thrones, like that's just what their clickbait titles are for.
Oh my gosh.
Or just to spoil everything.
I get it. Like I mean, I get it. They need you to come by and click. Their whole business model is that. And their argument is like, you know what? If you really liked it, you would have seen it already.
That, I think, is the point where they're just trying to get people to click, but they do assume a lot of people have already seen it.
And I get it. I get it.
And they'll see it again.
Normally, I would have. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm exhausted all the time now. That's my thing. Like, I'm always tired.
That's his new thing. It's called the Obi.
Except at night around 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then, like, bro, I am, like, rested, awake, and ready.
It finally starts to kick in.
Yeah, I finally get it.
What do you got to do to have that energy during the daytime?
Yeah, it's bad. Aww. Like, I struggle. I don't know what's going on. Allergies. I don't know if it's my medication. I don't know what it is, but I just know this. I'm tired all the time now.
But you are going to see Avengers tomorrow.
Yeah, and so I bring it.
So help us all. If we have to drive you there, we're going to drop you off.
So help me God. I'm on my knees today. Lord.
Please don't make anything come up tomorrow.
Lord, help thy servant to stay awake. And, he's familiar with that prayer. I prayed it before the show.
Every day.
Now I'll just be praying it before the movie.
There are a lot of reasons to listen to The Riot every morning. For example, give me a minute. There's got to be at least one. It's The Riot on RadioU.
Nikki, that you're here, I can finally tell you that they announced the dates and prices and all that stuff for the new Oculus Rift.
They did.
Okay.
Did I miss it?
You did, but
I'm here now.
I want to tell you guys the best part. Like, there are two, like, very much kind of online competing, what do you call it? Virtual reality headsets. There is the people that make the Valve, they make the Vive Pro. They announced that they're going to have a new headset this summer. Then the Oculus Rift are like, hey, we're going to have our owned
by Facebook. That's its claim to fame.
So they had their big press conference on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific.
You were so psyched because you had an Oculus and you want to move into the new one.
I did.
So you were actually anticipating finding out.
I sold my old one. I have the money. Like, I'm all set to buy the new one. I'm really excited about it.
I hear you in your voice. They don't have a new one, do they?
Yeah, they do.
But it's not coming out?
No. It comes out May 21st. I pre-ordered it.
Okay.
So, like, I'm all set. Like, that's all fine.
I feel like there's a catch.
There's just this part that I really wanted to tell you about.
How much is it?
Nope. It's not
it?
Okay, so there's these two competing headsets, right?
Yeah.
There's the Oculus that's coming out, and they have their standalone one called the Oculus Quest, $400. They have their one that plugs into a computer, the Oculus Rift S, $400. Now, Valve came out with their thing. It's going to be, it's going to be between $500 and $1,000. But that's not the part that I love so much. And I feel like I needed to tell you because you got to understand this twisting of the knife between two companies.
Sure.
It's the Android versus iPhone of the real nerds.
Of the virtual reality world.
Okay. So this big press conference and everybody's all set. And then at like 12:59 p.m., the people that are making the competing headset, that's when their embargo was up.
Yeah.
So the web was flooded with news about the other headset while the press conference was going on.
For the Oculus one?
So it was a big spit in your face, mud in your eye.
That is shady.
I loved it so much.
Did you have a good time?
I did, and there was no one to explain it to or talk to about it.
I'm sorry.
I was just loving it because I was like, guys, look what they did. I'm sitting here waiting on this, and this was a big, like, nice press conference. Here's our everything.
That's a maneuver right there. That's a strong one.
Yeah. It is one of those things. You know how when you have to really explain a joke? We just had that moment.
No. We got it. We understood. No, we got it.
No, it's fine. And I'm fine with it.
That was bad of them. Ooh, we feel it.
Sometimes good friends have to be there for each other for moments like that.
It's better when it's in the heat of the moment.
It is.
And then I could have been there through the whole thing with you.
I mean, it's, we're coming up on 40 hours later, but it's fine.
Practically still here.
I mean.
And you know what? In my world, in my online world, I saw not one thing about any of those press conferences. Not one thing.
I went from,
nothing trending on YouTube, nothing anywhere.
True. Well, that's because you don't have my algorithm. Because my algorithm was like, sick burn, and like all this stuff.
Well, it's telling me, it's like, oh, don't even tell her. She's fine. Wait till she gets back to work.
She doesn't need to know.
She has OB. That's her algorithm.
I know.
Well, I'm glad you pre-ordered your Oculus, though.
It's really weird to love something that no one cares about.
We all have that in our lives, though. You are not the only one.
There's so many things that I love, and I'm just like, man, there isn't a soul that remotely cares about it in my immediate circle.
Yes,
it's
there's
not
plenty
that nobody
of Reddit
likes
forums that connects you with those people.
That's where I've turned. We talked about that yesterday during Worst of the Riot. I was like, guys, I've just turned to Reddit because I can't find anyone
physically
that likes the stuff I like.
So
it's fine.
When does your new Oculus come?
May 21st.
May 21st.
And I opted for, instead of shipping, I opted for in-store pickup.
That shouldn't be a problem.
It shouldn't be. And the reason I did that was if there's some problem, I want to be able to take it back.
That's a good call.
I'm tired of shipping stuff back.
Well, I'm excited for you.
I'm excited too. Can you tell? I'm excited.
Yay!
Let's take all of the most mind-numbing things the Riot has ever said and play them again.
It's a stupid idea, but I love it.
It's the Riot on Radio U.
Nikki, let's go from something that you don't care about to something I don't really care about.
Okay, let's go.
IKEA.
Yes. Well, it's a love-hate relationship. I like going to IKEA.
I don't.
I don't like getting all the stuff and then setting it up, and I don't like waiting in line. And
do you mean like getting all the stuff and watching Eric set it up?
It's hard to manage that, you know? It is.
It's hard to manage. It's hard to manage waiting for Eric to finally get it done.
Last time I built a couple of things. I tried my hand at it, but I don't like it. And then at the one we have, it's not only a line to just get out, like to check out, but now anytime you want to go eat, it's always a huge line too.
Crazy busy. I think they
don't care anymore.
Our IKEA is more like a restaurant that sells furniture.
Pretty much.
Because it's crazy in there.
And they have it, like if you go to an IKEA, they usually have like a left side and a right side. And
this IKEA is like,
they only ever open the one side up. And I know some of that's because like, well, breakfast will be on one side and then they move it to lunch on the other. But I mean, you've got like 100 deep you're waiting on and you're not getting any food. And that makes people angry.
I'm mad thinking about it right now.
And then you have to go find your furniture if you want to buy something, and then you're even more angry.
And then once you find everything, then you have to go down to the warehouse and pull it.
Then you're just steaming at that point, which is why they have another place to eat on your way out, because you need a ice cream or a slushie or something just to manage what you just went through.
Get yourself a little, what is it, a cinnamon bun?
Oh, the cinnamon rolls.
Doesn't that sound good?
Yes, it does.
It almost reminds me that we tried the brand new KFC Cinnabon biscuits. And that you can see video of that right now at riot.radiou.com.
We did, but I did see that IKEA had some news.
They do. They're like, hey, we know you hate our big stores. So they're trying out, this is in Australia, a new concept store that is it'll be a small store like you go into a mall.
It's a mini store.
You go in and they'll have a couple of things, but what you're really there to do is just shop online and then they deliver it to your house.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Now there will be specialists on site that will help you, select products and get it all together.
That's a lie. Because one time I went to go, I was going to try to build like a closet system. And the specialist just showed me where the computer was and couldn't help beyond that.
Yes.
I was like, thank you so much. So basically it's a downsized IKEA where you can go in. It's mostly if you want to do a kitchen, a bathroom, or a bedroom, and you want to actually, create it, then yes, you go in and you're ordering it there.
I don't think I've ever done a kitchen, a bathroom, or a bedroom. I feel like the majority of my furniture shopping and my existence, quite frankly, has been, hey, you know what? You got something left over? Fine, I'll take it.
That's fine.
Like, where'd you get this toothbrush? Oh, I found it.
It's like a home planning studio.
Again, don't even know what that is.
We're not planning anything.
You're like, oh, you said you're buying an Oculus. Listen, you don't understand. That's a gift money that I've actually managed to continue going for 4 years.
Yeah.
If I showed you how the gaming economy works, that's a whole different story.
So it's an idea if you don't like to go into the larger IKEA stores to design something, but that's not why we hate going into the large IKEA stores. But we hate it, but then we love it. So I don't want to just say hate. I do love IKEA.
The only thing I ever want from IKEA is a new frame.
That's it? Oh, so the poster frames?
I walk in, get a poster frame, get an Americano, because their coffee
it's free.
And then
if you have an IKEA card.
I'm out of here. And I get a new IKEA card every time because I never keep it. So I'm just like, yeah, I got a new IKEA card. Look, free coffee.
I'm getting a coffee.
Free coffee.
You're ruining the system.
No, I'm not. I'm just, clogging it up, making it worse.
That's why it takes so long when you're there. You're only there to get a coffee and a new card.
How does Nikki put up with Obadiah day after day? It's easy. We pay her. RadioU.
You might think to yourself, after you've seen Avengers Endgame, someone can't spoil it for you. You've seen it all.
Can they, or?
Well, what if I could tell you that there was a way for me to retroactively spoil your experience at Avengers Endgame? Here it comes. If you attended midnight screenings of Avengers Endgame in Orange County, California, we just want to give you a heads up. It was at the AMC Theater in Fullerton.
Yeah.
And if you happen to be there between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m.
Prime movie times. Prime times.
The tickets that you waited in line for, that the servers crashed for, et cetera, you may have been exposed to the measles.
What do you
mean?
And
you need to report to your healthcare provider to see if you're okay.
What's wrong? That's something you didn't sign up for.
Nope. So there was a woman who has been diagnosed with a case of the measles. And she had recently come back from traveling internationally.
Oh.
And she took her measles with her to the movies.
Great. Well, no one likes to go alone.
Yay! So she went to a midnight showing, and, it's fine. I find that if I just expose myself to diseases, that's the best way to make sure I don't catch them later. Right?
No, you're supposed to expose yourself to the small little, the vaccine version so you don't get the big one.
No, Nikki, I think some essential oils and you'll be fine.
Oh, no, it's like I have a diffuser. Perfectly fine.
Don't worry.
I take my diffuser to the doctor.
I put some mint in this diffuser.
I'm totally fine. I'm
not
totally
going to be
fine.
sick. So here's what happened. She comes back with the measles. You can have the measles for days. Have no idea.
We can't get the measles.
Did you get a measles vaccine?
Didn't we all?
Did we? Well, not everybody.
Didn't baby Obi and baby Nikki get that shot sometime during their lifetime?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I had a booster at some point.
I think so.
You know what? I know there's all this anti-vaccine, whatever. I'm just going to tell you right now, whenever I go to the doctor, they're like, can we put this in you? I'm like, yeah, whatever.
It's too late to care at this point.
Is it in my copay? All right, shoot me up, dude.
Give me whatever.
What else you got in the back? Anything good?
No, it helps to be smart about it. But I think the biggest issue is there are a lot of people that are not vaccinating and have not been in the last couple of years, and that's causing outbreaks and problems in certain areas.
Measles problems.
Especially if you travel, you can bring back things that you didn't even know about.
So when, that neighbor next to you was so nice, they're like, hey, you want some popcorn? You're like, man, it's so great to be a part of this community.
I love it here.
And they were like, I don't know, I had the measles, but now you do too. So real talk, though, the measles is highly contagious.
Sure.
And they were saying that it's not just like, did you shake hands with them? Did you awkwardly make out with someone you didn't know in the movies? It's not that. It's in the air.
They just breathed it.
That's right. Measles goes airborne, and it can remain in the air up to 2 hours after the person
this movie
who had
is 3
hours.
What are you supposed to do?
So that means you were in there watching Avengers breathing measles.
No, thank you.
The whole time. What? Yep. There you go. So see, we did manage to spoil Avengers for you, even after you'd already seen it.
Now, well, yeah, if you get it, you'll never forget it.
Now, I will tell, let's go back and be absolutely sure. This was in Orange County, California, at the Fullerton AMC, Thursday night for their
the midnight
showings
to 4 a.m. showings.
Right.
That's your window of measles.
Right. So for a lot of you, not an issue, but if it doesn't make you want to go out to the movies today, I don't know what will.
I think I'm okay. You got to check with your doctor first to make sure you're up to date on all your shots.
Want to know what the Riot is doing right now? Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at riot.radiou.com. It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
Man, Nikki and I have talked so many times on this show about ways that we can get ahead, all right? We can get the money that we deserve. How do I get mine?
Yes, we've talked a lot.
And we've looked at white-collar crime, blue-collar crime, robberies of various sorts. And I just feel like we got to say it again. If you're thinking about a career in robbery, the Dairy Queen is just not the place.
I feel like that sort of crime life, it seems like more work than if you just found a stable job, with some good pay and worked your way towards that.
Yeah, it was too late to talk about it, but last week I was like, hey, if I gave you a gun and said make some money, and we talked about places you could rob, some people were like, you could just sell the gun.
And make money.
Boom.
That's a different way of looking at it.
I know, and I'll just tell you, selling a gun, you're going to get more than robbing the Dairy Queen.
So is this the guy that went twice?
He robbed the same Dairy Queen twice.
On the same day?
Same day.
Same day.
Same day.
Did he just not realize that he robbed it already, or did he get something the first time?
Once they got the mask off of him, when you look at him, you're like, you know what? This guy doesn't need jail. He needs help.
Aww.
So I don't necessarily want to make fun of him. And yet at the same time, I feel like right now, while most of us have it together, I just want to implant the idea that robbing Dairy Queen is not the way to go.
I just don't see them having a lot of cash.
That's why robbing is not a good idea.
Yeah, unless you're like, I'm stealing the ice cream. I don't see it really being a place you'd make a lot of money from.
No, and can we be honest? Dairy Queen, not necessarily a great place. I mean, they're always like chicken finger basket, and I'm like, yeah,
still the ice cream. You gotta go for the ice cream,
all right? Though, oh man, okay. this one Dairy Queen, they're closed now. I put them out of business.
Because you didn't go?
We used to go there after school like a couple times a week and get ice cream. And they would do dip cones. And I kept asking them if they would get cherry dip for the dip cones.
They had cherry.
Well, this one didn't. They only had chocolate. And I talked to the owner, and he was like, or I don't know, manager, owner, whatever. He was like, hey, I want you to know I got that cherry dip just for you. And so I started going there and getting cherry
dipped ice cream cone?
Oh, dude,
I've never had it, but I
it's
always
so
see it.
good.
Is it?
Yeah, and it's funny. I don't even really like cherry stuff.
Well, you like the grenadine.
Yeah, whatever it was, I loved it. And so like that's me. Like I go in there with my gun and machete, and I'm like, all right, I want a cherry dip cone now.
And give it to me. So Tiana texted, Dairy Queen's cold food isn't cold and its hot food isn't hot.
Boy, that's
which is true, because one time I got a blizzard, and it was so melty that they didn't tip it over, and I didn't notice.
They don't do that.
They do normally when they hand it to you. Still,
isn't that the concrete mixer that you get at?
No, the blizzard, they'll do it too.
I wouldn't trust them to do that.
And I remember pulling away. I was like, "Gosh, this thing's so like melty." He's like, "Yeah, because they didn't tip it over. Remember, they knew.
They knew.
They knew totally something was wrong."
We should get an ice cream treat today. We should go over to Orange Leaf, and there you just get like
a bowl of toppings.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even really ice cream.
Well, it's Thursday. It's almost Friday.
Got to get ice cream on Friday?
Well, no, it's almost the end of the week.
Start the party now?
Yeah, so we're close enough to the weekend.
Yeah. You know what? I need to get a hold of myself. We'll just keep drinking this coffee.
We're not robbing anything.
That's right.
All right.
I didn't go to the same Dairy Queen twice in the same day to rob them.
So I feel like things are not as bad as they could be.
I mean, I felt like they robbed me, but I didn't rob them.
The Riot is now accepting applications for a staff pastry chef. Please drop your resumes and an example of your work at the studio door, and we'll get back to you. Wink, wink. The Riot on Radio U.
Nikki, what is this Iranian Hulk stuff?
I don't know. I sent it to you.
All right, look, here's the deal. So apparently there's a guy they call the Iranian Hulk. He weighs 390 pounds, and he is insanely huge.
But it's the type where, I don't mean this in any offense.
Go ahead.
But if you've ever seen, like sometimes people who look like bodybuilders, but they just pump, like they just use syringes and inject themselves with it. He doesn't seem muscly. He just seems bloated, big. So I don't know like how much of him is real.
Well, they there's this other guy they call the Brazilian Hulk. We'll get there.
He also looks like his muscles have been injected.
Okay, well, both of them, if I'm reading this correctly, and of course there's going to be allegations and this, that, and the other, but both of them supposedly have injected themselves with synthol. It's an oil that enhances muscle appearance, but it's very dangerous because it can cause embolisms, nerve damage, infection, et cetera, et cetera. Now, according to this article, while both of these guys have done that in the past, they have both stopped and have started healthy fitness regimens.
When someone's like, yeah, I stopped, and you stopped like 2 days ago, but technically the oil's still in you. Like, it just seems like that.
I can't speak to that.
He said he's ready to fight, and that's what he's going to do.
This has got a whole like body dysmorphia thing look to it, where you're just like, bro, your back shouldn't be that big with... Like, there should be muscle other places.
Well, he's trying to be a giant. Yeah. But again, he's not very muscularly.
But then again,
but he's bigger than us. Like, I don't know.
I go to the gym all the time. You won't see any muscles. And people will be like, if you go to the gym all the time, why do you muffin top like that? You're like, what does that mean? Look it up. Look it up. You'll get it.
This guy, like, he just has a very big appearance, but no definition.
Yeah.
Where the Brazilian guy who's supposed to be in the MMA fight with him, he has lots of weird definition, where it's lots of, like, pockets of like bubbles here and there where your muscles like normally wouldn't. So it gives that an injected look.
I don't even think we mentioned what they're. I don't even think we got into why we're into this. I don't think we did. You just mentioned it, and I forgot. We got talking. I was like, oh, wait. So
yeah, the guy is going to. They're going to be fighting each other with their first MMA fight.
Yeah, I imagine one round and then a heart attack, and then that's the end of that.
I don't know. The guy
I'm not even being sarcastic. Like even though they're huge, they don't look like they need to be fighting anybody.
Correct. So that's what the news article is about.
All right. Well, but it's happening. They say they're going to sometime before 2020. They had issued a challenge, and so the one guy was like, "Yeah, I'll fight you." So now they're going to. Okay, it looks like in the fight, instead of punching each other, they'll like throw boulders at each other or something.
Like the strongman competition?
Yes.
Yeah, where they just throw them up.
Like, I pulled this car and it backed over you or something.
Honestly, again, they look so full of oil, like they looks like they could pop if you just took a little needle with them.
You know what? Be that as it may, I don't want involved in this at all. Like,
Well, that's
I'm just
good.
gonna,
That's not our scene.
You know what?
We're not into that world.
I ran about 2 miles this morning. Felt terrible. And
that's what everybody wants to expect. That's the normal gym thing.
That's where I'm just going to stay with that.
It's the radio equivalent of going to McDonald's and ordering a fish fillet. Hey, that's one of my favorite things from Mickey D's. The worst of the riot on RadioU.
He's known by many names across this great nation, nay, the world. His name is Thomas Tramaglini. We call him Super Pooper.
Oh, the one guy.
Superintendent Pooper.
Oh, he was the one superintendent for the school who was like daily jogging in another, wasn't his district where he was superintendent. But he would go like at a high school and like he would literally go at the high school. He'd be at the track and he would always go number 2. And finally, after a really long time and a lot of daily, like, who in the heck is doing this? They found out it was this superintendent of the other school district, not for like some rivalry reason. It's just he lived over there.
So he was like, hey,
going to the bathroom when he was running out exercising.
If you're a runner, you know that occasionally while you're out, you get the need to...
Well, they said there was bathrooms, and he would do it like every day.
Well, he finally just pled guilty and paid a $500 fine. And that's where his legal thing ended. Like, he pled guilty, paid the fine, got done, whatever.
His thing was that because he was superintendent, like, they couldn't just fire him, but yet he couldn't really go to work, but he was getting paid.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, so...
But...
Does that wrap that up?
Oh, no. Now, he's suing the police department. He says that he should not, his mugshot should not have been released.
Yeah, I remember them talking about that.
And it was a violation of his constitutional rights by taking that picture and then releasing it. Because, you know what? I don't know.
It was something to do with him and his lawsuit with the district that he was in.
Right.
That they said that his mugshot and stuff should not have been sent out yet.
So they say exactly that. Yeah. They say that taking a mugshot, New Jersey law prohibits taking a mugshot for low-level offenses. So in other words, they never should have taken his picture in the first place, much less released his picture. And he says that was a violation of due process.
Yeah, and then he couldn't get a job anywhere else because he's known as the Super Pooper. Like, everybody knows who this guy is, and they've seen his picture, so he couldn't go get another job.
Right. So now we find ourselves waiting to see. What do you think, Nikki? Does he have a leg to stand on?
Probably. I would think so. If they weren't supposed to and it was still a part of the case, then yeah, I'm not surprised he's going after them.
It is one of those things where the punishment doesn't seem to fit the crime. Like, okay, no. Paying the $500 fine, yes, but like the damage that's been done to this guy's life, it's pretty intense.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't hire him here because, I mean, I wouldn't want to be cleaning that up every day.
You can't just get over that, And so, like, that was his statement. Like, he can't just be fired from his job. But people wanted him to just go find another job somewhere else. But because his mugshot was out, people would find out, like, people knew who this guy was and what he had done, allegedly.
But the other side of it is, like, I don't want to all of a sudden go into the break room and be like, oh, Tom.
You're just not willing to take that risk.
No,
So Andrew, thank you for texting. He's like, the Pooperintendent is back.
Oh, he's back.
Everybody loves to hear an update on this guy.
Everybody does, don't they? Which just feeds back into what a bummer it is to be him.
The Riot's future, 2 words. Goat Farm. RadioU.
So I always hate finding out what the internet thinks that I like when it feeds it back to me. I'm always like, oh,
like it's suggestions and stuff?
Yeah, or ads. Any kind of targeted ads. They're like, oh, yeah, this is for him.
He's going
right
to love
here.
this.
Yeah, so I'm here and I'm scrolling and I see that here's a sponsored ad to me from JCPenney.
I didn't think they were still around.
I don't know where a JCPenney is. I tried to go to Sears yesterday for something. Couldn't find a Sears.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying this. I mean it. I don't know where there is a JCPenney. So, but apparently they exist because they're buying internet ads still.
Well, maybe it's an online thing.
Now, let me read to you the ad. It says, spring is here. It's time to clean out your closet and give your look a refresh. Shop some faves online now.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
You know what? It would be easier if I just showed you
what the ad looks
what
like?
the clothes are that they want me to buy. You tell me what you see.
Is that a Star Trek uniform?
Yep.
Why are they selling that?
They are JCPenney. Is trying to sell me a Star Trek uniform.
It's like a onesie, but a really tight one.
Like that is something that you wear day to day.
It's like a jumpsuit.
Yeah. So here you go. Have yourself some Star Trek wear, you big fat nerd.
Is that real? Are they really selling that?
Are they? You know what?
It's not Halloween. Why are they selling it?
Let's click it. All right.
Go ahead. Give them a click.
Let's give it
click.
to them.
Let's just humor them, even though that means your ads are going to be super specific now.
There we go. All right. I'm at jcpenney.com. It's real. Oh, look, they're having a Black Friday in May.
Yeah, every month.
Okay. So, that means I could maybe get 25% off this purchase.
Your Star Trek jumpsuit?
My bi-seasons 3-piece Star Trek dress-up costume. Let's see what sizes. Oh, I got to tell you.
It's tight.
I'm probably going to need something a little bigger than what they're...
Well, you want to size up one, and that's fine.
JCPenney, that's even worse. This is the kids section.
They think you're a kid.
They're like, we have this 10-year-old using the internet.
He loves Star Trek. And you don't even like Star Trek that much.
Not really.
Not like you used to.
Not really. So what?
So what's going on?
What? Like what? Can I, don't you guys know?
What's the shirt you're wearing today?
Nothing.
What is it?
What? It doesn't matter. Shirt? It doesn't matter.
What's the shirt? What is it?
It's,
Is it night?
Crap. I keep wanting to say Nightbird.
Is it Nightwing?
That is what it is. Thanks, Nikki. I couldn't even remember.
But yet I can.
I know. See, we're playing Nightbird. I'm wearing a Nightwing shirt.
You got a Nightwing shirt? No wonder it's telling you all this stuff.
And JCPenney is trying to sell me a child's large 3-piece Star Trek costume. Great.
That is exactly what Obi was looking for, just everyday workwear.
Man, guys, listen, real talk. I can't work 5 days a week. I gotta go home today.
Why?
I gotta go home today.
It's not
too
work's fault
it's
that
too
you got
much.
that ad.
It's too much.
It's what you bought that you've done to yourself.
Life is too much. I can't handle anymore. I can't handle it,
Remember
Nikki?
when I bought you that Star Trek phaser one time, and my suggestions were wrecked for years?
Hey, well, guess what? I don't have any. I haven't bought any Star Trek. Nothing.
That's all it had.
Nothing.
They said, "Oh, he likes stars. This is stars. It'll all work."
And when he keeps looking up plus size clothing or
he plays
big
jumpsuit, and this is a jumpsuit.
This is a jumpsuit.
It probably hears you saying jumpsuit, and you're like, I think he wants his outfit.
And you know what? You figure, okay, between saying 21 Pilots jumpsuit and red jumpsuit, what color is the Star Trek jumpsuit?
I think it's red,
It's
isn't
red.
it? I think that's why it's listening.
21 Pilots jumpsuit, my blood, red jumpsuit apparatus.
It's Works. I guess it is Works' fault.
Send your complaints regarding that worst of the riot moment to Fire Obadiah at RadioU.com.
Oh my gosh, dude. Burger King, they have teamed up with, I love this, they've teamed up with Mental Health America for a campaign on meals. They say, listen, not everybody's happy all the time.
Yeah.
So they have what they are calling their real meals.
Does it dig on a Happy Meal or something?
Yeah, it is actually. So there is the blue meal, the pissed meal, the DGAF meal, the Yas meal, and the salty meal.
I like to hear you say that second to last one.
Well, that's one of those things that I don't normally have to say out loud.
Yes.
So I'm not really sure.
So is this real or?
Oh, no. It's real.
So what do you do?
No, it's not in every. The thing is, though, like they're not in every
market.
Yeah, you're only going to be able to get them in. Oh, I had a list.
Austin, Seattle,
Miami, Los Angeles, and New York City.
That's it. So it's an ad that also goes along with the campaign, which shows people with experiencing unfortunate circumstances, like being bullied and stuff, and that goes with this campaign.
And so they say that it's funny. It's one of those things where, on the one hand, it's a poke at McDonald's, but on the other hand, they're saying, hey, this is your permission to not be happy.
Yes. Now, people online are a bit confused because on one hand, this seems almost like it's mocking or making light of it. And then on the other hand, which Burger King's marketing department has been in trouble before with some of that.
No.
And then on the
I can't believe you'd say that.
On the other side, they're saying that at least it's talking about stuff, but they say that because they're going after a Happy Meal, which is a very usually ordered by a younger person.
Right.
But the marketing is almost targeted towards, like, if you're 18 or 19 or 20.
Oh, no, it's absolutely this is marketed to an older audience,
yeah,
for sure.
which is not the Happy Meal thing. So they just said it's a bit juvenile of a tactic.
You know what? I don't know. Nikki, one of the biggest problems I have is that despite what you guys might think, I actually don't get offended super easily.
Sure.
And so as someone who has depression, goes to counseling, takes medication for depression, like...
Would you buy one of the meals?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I would. I'd be like, man, give me that. Which one do I want today?
Which one are you feeling?
Do you guys have one? Because, like, one of the things for me about...
this is not for kids, though...
No, it's for adults.
So, but yet it's against a Happy Meal, which a Happy Meal is not for adults on McDonald's. Not a lot of grown-ups are ordering Happy Meals.
No, that's true. But think about it. Okay, this has been my approach. What do, you see a lot of women walking around talking about how Barbie just scarred them as a child. They ruined them. They don't feel like a real woman because they don't look like Barbie. Blah, 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 whatever. I think you could argue that this is your whole childhood. You were fed Happy Meals.
Sure.
Happy.
Gotcha.
But you've grown up. I don't want a Happy Meal. I'm not happy, but I'll take this blue meal here.
Well, I think more if they would have made it a combo. Like instead of the Happy Meal, could have been like, the blue combo.
Oh, well, no. And they come in boxes. I think it is again, just as somebody, everybody's going to have a different take on this, but as someone with mental health issues, I look at this and I laughed out loud where I was just like, yeah,
I'll take one.
That's right. And give it to me in that box.
But again, it's only in Austin, Seattle, Miami, LA, and New York City.
Yeah. So I don't know. I have no problem with it.
No complaints on it?
If you also suffer with mental health issues and it bothers you, I'm sorry. Happy Meals are still available.
The Riot is the radio equivalent of Taco Bell meat. RadioU.
I very distinctly remember a fall football, like college football season, in which roughly every other commercial was for online fantasy sports, and I thought I was going to die.
Yeah, especially if you had, if you used ESPN's app or any sort of streaming service, it was just always the commercial with everything.
Everywhere, constantly, nonstop. It was driving me crazy. And it was DraftKings or FanDuel. What's funny was I couldn't remember what year that was, but it was 2015. So it's been 3.5 years, basically, since we endured what was this insane rise of the daily fantasy sports, whatever. And as Nikki had mentioned, there were all kinds of like regulatory things that popped up. Now certain states want to allow sports betting.
People were mad because I think they saw the ad all the time.
Oh,
but
man.
People used it. Like, it used to rake in a lot of money. And then whenever something makes a lot of money, then you start getting states involved saying, hey, what constitutes sports betting? What has to be regulated? Regulated is a fancy word for more money going to the states.
I was going to say regulated is a fancy word for taxed.
Pretty much.
So they can have some of that money.
Yeah. So with sports betting, it was a nationwide product that you could get involved in, but would have consequences for different states. And so then states were like, well, what in the world do we do? Because they wanted to tax it.
Now, here's something that I love, though. I just want to let you guys know. It must not be going that well for them. People must not be as into it because
they got hit hard.
FanDuel just sent out an email that Engadget is reporting on that if you haven't placed a bet in the last, or excuse me, not a bet, if you haven't been a part of a fantasy league in the last 10 months, I think it is. I'll have to check. 24 months.
24 months?
So if you figure it's been 3 years since the big marketing blitz, if you haven't been a part of it in the last 24 months, you're going to be starting to be charged a $3 maintenance fee on your account.
If you still keep the account? But if you cancel the account, then they can't.
I assume that's true. But I mean, think about it. What did you do? There was a big rush.
You signed up.
You played for however many months or you did whatever, and then you're like, I'm not doing this anymore. You forgot. You haven't gone back to it, and now they're just like, you know what? How about a little change in the terms of service, and we're just going to start taking your money.
So $3 might, you're like, it's enough to where you probably wouldn't even notice it.
It would actually take you a little while to notice
that you've been charged.
Yeah. If you don't go through your account line by line, and you probably should,
but you don't pay attention,
then they could just start.
I was going to say, boy, that's a little shady and sneaky, but then, I mean, this is fantasy league, so what do you think that preys on?
It's weird to imagine that. I mean, I would say that, like, to imagine that you'd be gambling or et cetera, and this is on that gray line, whatever you want to call it, and they would want to take your money. That seems weird, but the other side of it is we did just talk about government regulation. They also want your money.
Take your money. So what are you supposed to do?
Everybody is trying to figure out how to take your money and pay you as little as possible.
Which is why you need to be on top of what has your credit card information. So if you did any of that draft stuff back then, you should go and make sure your accounts are either canceled or just change your credit card so they don't have anything to run.
You know what, Nikki? We just need to go off the grid. All right? You and me, we're going to buy a tiny house, and we're going to live in the middle of a field.
I want a caboose or a shipping container.
Let's do a shipping container.
Okay, we'll take a shipping container.
We'll have his and her shipping containers, even though Eric's going to live with you in the her shipping container.
That's perfectly fine.
Or just be the three of us out there. Living off the land.
No, I still want high-speed internet.
No, because then you're going to use your credit card on the internet.
Then they'll know. We can use prepaid cards of some sorts, can't we?
No, not all sites will accept those.
All right, then we have to start working on our own entertainment because we'll still need something.
Hey, you know what? It's the RIOT 24/7.
Our new season starting just in that little area where our shipping container homes are.
If you guys want to hear the RIOT, just drive on out and park.
That won't be weird at all.
Ever wonder what Nikki is doing when she isn't rioting?
Find her Twitter feed at riot.radiou.com.
Obadiah's is there too, but who cares what he's doing?
I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday. You know how people are like, just be honest with me. And then you get really honest with them, and you can tell you're like, too honest.
Then their feelings are hurt.
Whoops.
You're not supposed to be that honest.
Not supposed to be so real, right? Here's what I love. Do you know that with God, you can be as real as you need to be? In fact, you should really be more real. Like, you ever go somewhere and you hear somebody praying in public, and they're like, "Dear God, thank you for this day, and thank you for this food," and they're about as thankful as you are for appendicitis. Like, they're just not really thankful at all. I feel like we'd be better off starting our days off like, you know what, God, I'll be honest. Today kind of sucks. I'm not feeling it today, Jesus. Okay. If you got real with God, then all of the sudden, God can get real with you. It's like, oh, yeah, what do you think? What do you think? You're like, God, I'm so excited about today. And he's like, great, let's start our conversation with lies. Right? Come on. Listen, God knows where you are. Now, today's National Day of Prayer, and what I'm trying to tell you is that you don't need some big fancy get on a platform, hold a microphone, and pray kind of moment today. What you need is the kind of relationship with God where you are completely real with him. And if you would get real with God, he will be real with you. And you're going to find that things get dealt with. That's where things really start to happen, is when you start getting real. Now, if you don't have a relationship with God, listen, there is nothing fancy going on here. This is about as plain as it gets. Jesus loves you. He wants to have a relationship with you. You guys can get to know each other, and you can be real. And he's never going to give you that look.
Or when you are?
That when you get real and your friends are like, oh, gosh, you're not going to see that look from him. You just won't. Right now, just do it. Say, Jesus, I need that. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I want to have a relationship with you. Here's where I'm at. And the great thing is you can talk to God about where you are. The other thing, too, though, is that, National Day of Prayer, the idea is like, pray for the people around you, too. You got some people you know that need help. Or, you know what? Pray for your mayor. That he or she will know it's a he in my town.
Sure, that's why.
But like that he will know what to do today. Pray for your senator so she will have some extra help from God today. That kind of thing. You can actually ask God to help you and other people too.
The Riot believes in truth, justice, the American way, and high-speed internet. No, faster. RadioU.
You know what? I got a bunch of streaming news. Let's just put it all together in this streaming update.
You mean we're streaming together the streaming stuff?
Streaming the streaming.
We bring you only
it's the
best.
Ultimate stream.
I cannot wait to hear.
Woo! Okay, how about this? Netflix says they're increasing their audio quality.
Yeah.
They say
go with the new prices. Oh, sorry, they didn't say that.
It's funny you say that because let's see, this particular one that I grabbed from Engadget, they talked about what the bit rate is.
Yeah.
And I know there's part of you just fell asleep a little bit, but I will tell you, it does matter. And it's just like with an MP3 or whatever. Now you can go in, and whether it's through iTunes or whatever that you're streaming through, and you can select like high quality, medium quality, low quality for streaming. Same deal here.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Duffer Brothers, the guys who are responsible for Stranger Things, Netflix.
They have a real thing with the quality that you're getting their product on your end.
They basically said to Netflix, guys,
fix it.
Can't we do any better than this? And so Netflix has, and they're delivering it now. And the Engadget commentary, which I really appreciate, is this just feels like a bullet point to justify a price increase.
Pretty much. But remember, there's only so much increase that can happen then to what you have as your, output in your life. So whatever your TV or your setup is, it can only be so good.
Okay. Now let's move over to Hulu, Nikki.
Yes.
Details on Hulu are that they have just greenlit 2 new Marvel TV series that they're going to have. They're going to have Ghost Rider.
Wasn't that an old movie?
It was, with Nicolas Cage, and then did he do 2 of those or what? I don't know. And whatever. And then something called Hellstrom.
Oh, they sound lovely.
I don't know what that one is, but yeah, there's that. And last but least, maybe not least, I don't know. Disney Plus apparently is looking at doing.
Is this what we were supposed to talk about like an hour ago?
Yeah, yeah. But
we got sidetracked, but
we did get sidetracked. But I got it all here for you. Okay. They say it's important to make an appointment with your audience and then keep that appointment.
We totally did not.
Yeah, we did.
No,
we did. Yes, we did.
The show.
We did all the stories in order.
We did, but it's been like an hour since you said we were going to. At least it's during the show.
You know what? Off air, you and I are going to have a little talk. Because I did it right.
You did? I thought you said we were going to talk about it earlier.
I didn't put anything in between we said
you didn't?
And whatever. No.
Okay.
I have done all the stories we said we would do in order.
I've done all that I promised.
I have.
So what is Disney Plus?
Is your complaint that we played too much music?
Too much good music?
Did you guys wish that we do less music? Isn't that what people always say about morning radio? I wish they'd play less music and talk more. Nobody
You're
says
right.
that.
You're right on that. You're
Okay.
right.
You ready for this Disney Plus
I
news?
am.
Or do you want us to just lie and not even cover it at all?
What's the Disney Plus news?
You remember a movie called Willow?
No, I do not.
Okay, Willow starred Val Kilmer, and it was directed by Ron Howard.
Uh-huh.
And that apparently they're looking at a sequel TV show that will be on Disney Plus.
Oh, great. I'm glad we waited for that news. Yay.
Nikki, they have to justify these high prices somehow.
No, because Disney Plus has the low price for that first year. Get you in and hooked on it before they raise them right on up.
How about low price for that first month? They're going to be like,
go up.
I had somebody text us yesterday. I don't have their text in front of me that said, I love this. I didn't go see Avengers Endgame. I'm just going to watch it on Disney Plus.
Well, I know, but it's out in November. You got some time. You could do both.
I'm just telling you what they said. I don't know. So,
well, thank you for the streaming news.
you know.
Oh, I said thank you.
You know.
Yeah, know what?
Everything I do poorly.
It reflects on both of us.
It's an us.
I know it is. It's a team
us.
effort, and it's a team that was poorly done.
We talked about DraftKings like we said we would.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
Why do you muffin top like that?